Imagine you are the best cricketer on your team. You score the most runs. You take the most wickets. Your captain trusts you completely. Your teammates respect you. One day, the selectors call you in and say, "You are so good at this game, we want you to coach the team." Sounds like a reward, feels like recognition. But here is the problem nobody tells you about. Playing cricket and coaching cricket are completely different skills. One requires you to perform, the other requires you to make others perform. And the day you become the coach, nobody set you down and explain that difference. This is not just a cricket story. This happens in every organization in India, every single day. And it is silently destroying leadership pipelines from the inside. It is called the promotion trap. And here is exactly how it works. Your best salesperson becomes the sales manager. Your best engineer becomes the tech lead. Your best teacher becomes the principal. Your best officer in a government department becomes the head of that department. And the organization, which thought it was making a great decision, simultaneously loses two people. They lose their best individual contributor and they gain a struggling, untrained manager. Now, I want to be very clear about something here. The promoted person is not incompetent, they are extremely competent at the wrong thing. They are still performing as an individual when their entire job has changed to making others perform. And the worst part, nobody told them. No one sat down with them and said, the day you got promoted, the rules changed completely. What made you successful before will not make you successful now. In fact, it might actively make things worse. I have seen this pattern in corporate organizations, in banks, in government departments, in hospitals, in PSUs across Northeast India, in different hospitals, in universities. It doesn't matter what sector you are in. If you promote high performers without structured transition support, you will fall into this trap every time. So, what actually needs to change? I'm not talking about skills. Skills are the surface level. I'm talking about identity. The day someone gets promoted to manager, three fundamental identity shifts need to happen. And most new managers never make them because nobody explains what is actually happening. Let me walk you through each one. The first shift from doer to enabler. As an individual contributor, your entire professional identity was built on what you personally produced. You solved the problem, you closed the deal, you delivered the project, you are the person with answers. And that is exactly why you got promoted. But here is what nobody tells you on promotion day. Your value has just changed completely. Your value as a leader is no longer what you produce, it is what your team produces. And this sounds simple when I say it in a video, but living it, actually feeling it in your bones, is one of the most difficult psychological transitions in a professional's life. Because your confidence, your self worth, your sense of contribution, all of it has been built on your personal output. So, what do new managers do? They keep doing. They solve the problems themselves. They stay in details. They take back tasks that their team members are struggling with. They work harder and harder, trying to perform their way into good management. And in doing so, they accidentally disempower everyone around them. Their team stops trying to solve problems independently. because the manager always jumps in. Their team stops developing because the manager always has the answer. Their team stops taking ownership because the manager always takes it back. The manager is working harder than ever. The team is getting weaker than ever. This is the doer trap. And breaking out of it requires a complete reorientation of how you measure your own value. Your scoreboard has changed. The question is no longer, what did I achieve today? The question is, what did I enable my team to achieve today? The second shift from certainty to curiosity. Think about why most people get promoted. They had the answers. They were the person who could walk into a problem and solve it faster and better than anyone else. That competence, that certainty is what made them visible, what made them trusted, what got them promoted. And now, as a leader, that same certainty becomes a liability because your job is no longer to have all the answers. Your job is to develop people who can find the answers for themselves. This requires a shift from certainty to curiosity. Instead of, here is the answer, it becomes, what do you think? Instead of, let me show you how, it becomes, walk me through your thinking. Instead of, I will handle this, it becomes, what would you need to handle this yourself? Now I know what some of you are thinking. This sounds inefficient. It is faster to just give the answer. And you are right. In the short term, it is faster, but in the long term, a team that always waits for the manager's answer is a team that cannot function without the manager. And a manager who is needed for every decision is not a leader, they are a bottleneck. The shift from certainty to curiosity is not easy, especially for high achievers, because it requires you to sit with not knowing, to ask questions when you already have the answer, to hold back when every instinct says jump in. But it is the shift that separates managers who are good individually from leaders who build great teams. Now, the third shift, and in many ways the hardest one among all of them, from personal success to collective success. As an individual contributor, your scoreboard was clear: targets hit, deals closed, problems solved, results achieved. You knew at the end of every day whether you had performed or not. As a leader, your scoreboard becomes invisible in the short term. You invest in a team member's development today and you see the results maybe 3 months from now. You have a difficult performance conversation today and you see the team dynamic shift gradually over weeks. You build a culture of accountability today and you measure it in a quarter later. This requires a completely different relationship with time, with patience, with what success actually means. And most newly promoted managers are never prepared for this. They come from an environment where results were immediate and visible, and they enter leadership expecting the same feedback loop. When it does not come, they panic. They go back to doing things themselves because at least that gives them the feeling of progress. And the cycle continues. I want to tell you about a manager I worked with. I will not use his name, who was one of the best individual performers I have ever encountered in a corporate organization in SA. Sharp, driven, technically brilliant. The kind of person everyone wanted on their project. He got promoted, and 6 months later, his team's performance had dropped. Two of his best people had quietly started looking for other opportunities. His own manager was frustrated. When I sat with him, he said something I have never forgotten. He said, I do not know what I'm doing wrong. I'm working harder than I ever have. I'm in every meeting. I'm solving every problem. And I said, that is exactly the problem. He was still performing as an individual when his entire job had changed to making others perform. Nobody had told him he was not failing. He was transitioning without a map. And when we worked through these three identity shifts together, doer to enabler, certainty to curiosity, personal success to collective success, something shifted for him. Not immediately, not dramatically, but gradually. Over about 4 months, his team started performing differently. Because he started leading differently, the promotion trap is entirely preventable, but only when organizations treat leadership transitions as what they actually are, identity transitions, not just skill upgrades. So let me leave you with this. If you have been promoted recently and you feel like you are failing, you are not failing. You are transitioning. And transition without support feels like failure. Those are two completely different things. The shift you are going through from doer to enabler, from certainty to curiosity, from personal success to collective success, it is real, it is hard, and it takes time. Give yourself that time and get the support you need. And if you are an HR leader or a CHRO watching this, every untrained manager in your organization is a ticking clock. The cost is not just their performance, it is the performance of every person they lead. And that cost compounds quietly, month after month, until you either lose the manager, lose the team, or both. This doesn't have to be your story. The promotion trap is entirely preventable with structured transition support, with identity level coaching, and with a program that addresses what actually needs to change. If you want to talk about what that looks like inside your organization, the link is in the description. Reach out directly. Let us have a real conversation. And if this video helped you, share it with one person in your network who is going through this right now. They might not know what to call it, but they will recognize it when they see it. I am Bikash Kalita, Leadership and Organizational Performance Consultant based in Guwahati, Assam. I will see you next week.